So they rose through the atmosphere toward the open vacuum. A trip not only through space, but through time. Toward a world untouched by the evolutionary processes of Earth. A journey that was to be a door to the future and a window on the past.
First, why don't we begin by talking about how early did you find out that you were going to be part of the Apollo 11 team? Was it like a year in advance, or how long do you have to train for something like that?
That's a good question. In my case, the progression was very muddled. First I was assigned to the Apollo 8 crew, the one that flew around the moon but did not land, with Frank Borman, and then I had to be removed from that because I had some surgery on my upper spine. So then I was Capcom for Apollo 8, and then I went into another, I don't even remember exactly the crew composition, but I went into another backup crew, and then I became the prime crew for Apollo 11. We actually had, the three of us, Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and I, had about 6 months together to get ready to go for that. Now, I'm not saying that we, hadn't had some preparations before, but as a trio, that was a fairly short period of time to get all the last minute or the last month or the last 6 months worth of stuff done. And so we were working pretty heavy to get that done. We were probably a little different than most crews, at least my recollection of the Gemini program was we were all delighted to be assigned to a Gemini. We worked hard at it, but I think I at least had the feeling that the Gemini was some big sporting event, whereas Apollo was more serious, and Apollo 11 was a lot more serious. We were supposed to be the culmination of John F. Kennedy's dream, and we had 6 months to make sure we had everything covered. We knew exactly what we were doing. And some crews kind of waltzed around and color harmonated their Corvettes, and we didn't. We worked long and hard. When the day was over, we went home to our families. We were very much focused on just the mission itself, plus the fact that with the lunar module and the command module, Neil and Buzz were frequently off somewhere in their module training, and I was off somewhere else in mine training, and we were quite separate from each other. So it was a little bit different from your average crew that has worked together longer and has worked more closely than we did. Somewhere along the line, I used the term to describe us as amiable strangers, which I didn't mean in a bad way at all. But as I say, we had a plate full, and we had the feeling that it wasn't just our country, but the whole world was watching us. We better damn well be sure we knew exactly what we were doing.
Hi, Houston, Apollo 11. How many miles out do you have it now? Roughly about 50,000. A beautiful sight.
I guess what people want to know is your experience. I've read so much about the fact that you were up there alone, orbiting, and there was like a 47-minute window when you were on the dark side of the moon, and the two others were on the surface. And I have read that at the time there was only maybe a 50-50 chance that the lunar module would be successful in taking off from the lunar surface. I mean, what was going through your head? I'm sure you've been so well trained, you were very busy at the time. If you could just talk a little about that.
Well, in terms of the chances, I would have rated the chances for the lunar module to get off the surface of the moon much higher than 50-50. I don't know that I want to stick a number on it, but much, much higher, much closer to 99%.
Oh, okay.
The thing that was perhaps a little bit more worrisome about that was that we were great believers in redundancy, and we tried to have a couple of this and a couple of that in regard to any one of our little pieces of machinery that was very important to us. And we could not do that with the lunar module. It had one ascent engine. There was no backup to it, and one engine bell and one combustion chamber and so forth. So that was it. And it had to work perfectly, or Neil and Buzz were stuck on the moon forever.
We copy you down, Eagle.
Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Roger, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're breathing again. Thanks a lot.
So that was a different thing, but it wasn't totally different in that in the command module, all three of us had just one engine to get home. So those sequences were a little more hazardous than the normal ones where we had a backup to our primary piece of machinery. In terms of, is that enough on your first question? You actually had two questions in one. The other was by myself and so on. Is that enough on that? Or you want me to add on about that or go on to the next one?
Yeah, you had, because I had read some quotes about you talking about, being alone up there, the loneliness of it.
Yes. It was about all those lunar flights is that at one stage of the game, instead of it being a three-person crew, it's two in one vehicle and someone by himself in the other vehicle. And in the case of Apollo 11, I think it's changed a bit. In the case of Apollo 11, with heavy, in fact, quote, I was the loneliest man in the lonely history of the whole lonely planet, or some such thing.
Yeah.
And I just did not feel that way at all. As a matter of fact, when we returned to Earth, we were put in quarantine, I think it was for 2 weeks, and we were in there with a colony of white mice, and white mice were healthy, and we were healthy, and we had brought in dangerous pathogens back from the moon, so we worried about the white mice. And when I came back, we got in there, and then we had our first press conference. Everyone was harping on, wasn't I lonely in the loneliness, this and that, the other. I wanted to say to them, how are the white mice? They wanted to talk about loneliness. I wanted to talk about white mice, and there we were. But to answer your question, no, I felt just fine. And in the command module by myself, it was very comfortable. I put the thermometer on 72 degrees. If I wanted to listen to music, I could do that. I had hot coffee. I was very comfortable. I felt like I'd been there a long time. Anyway, flying by myself was not an unusual thing. So I felt cozy and at home and lonely not at all. Even though I was far removed from the physical presence of Neil and Buzz, I felt that was a necessary one-third of the mission, and that I felt a very close kinship with them. I felt close to them. I was far away from them.
So finally, just a couple of things. What do you think about NASA now? And do you think we should pursue like a Mars mission?
Well, I think first that having some non-appropriated money coming and people, contributors like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, I think that's a big advantage to NASA today. So we're getting a little extra funds from those unusual sources, and they're making what we do a little cheaper and quicker, and I applaud them. In terms of the specific plans that NASA has, I used to joke that NASA ought to be renamed NAMA, the National Aeronautics and Mars Administration. And I used to also say, well, of course, they sent me to the wrong planet. But anyway, I'm a big believer in Mars and always have been. I would, if I were running NASA, I would push in the direction of a Mars direct flight. I think that that long, elongated orbit coming out of the side of the moon, the gateway, so-called gateway, I think that's unnecessary. I think it's going to cause the price to go up and the timetable to stretch. And I personally would prefer a direct approach to Mars.
Okay. And my last question is, what are you doing these days? I hear you're painting. Are you still doing some writing?
Yeah, I've written 4 books, and I'm working on number 5, which is a series of essays. I don't have a publisher for it yet, but I'm hopeful that I'll get one in the next year or so. And I've been working on kind of a new format for me, at least, and that is doing a series of essays. In terms of what else I do, I live in a funny place. It's I've forgotten where I live, to tell you the truth. I used to have a name, but now it's simply called Southwest Florida, SWFL, and that's abbreviated Swiffle. So I live in Swiffle, and I'm a Swiffellian, I guess. And today it's 85 degrees and the beautiful sun beaming down, and I feel very fortunate to be down here. I was one of 4 kids, and in my family there were 2 hot weather kids and 2 cold weather kids, and I'm definitely one of the hot weather ones. I like to sweat, and I like to swat bugs, and so I'm in exactly the right place. I do some watercolor painting. I fish when the fish seem to be biting. I'm having sort of bad times lately. I don't know, but the coast of Florida has had some red tide that's affected the water quality. I don't think that's our problem here. I think it's just incompetence on my part. But anyway, slow fishing and a little bit of watercolor painting. I get a lot of exercise, and I got 2 magnificent daughters that take care of the old conjure of 88. So everything's good.
Okay. Michael, it's been a great honor talking to you.